Welcome, welcome, welcome to the deep dive. I am truly thrilled to have you join us today for what promises to be a gloriously mind-bending journey, I think.
It certainly does.
Today marks episode 2 of our big project, Reading Finnegans Wake in 200 sessions, and we are plunging really headfirst into the early, incredibly dense and utterly captivating pages of James Joyce's monumental dreamlike work, Finnegans Wake.
Yep, straight into the deep end.
Exactly. Specifically, we're zeroing in on pages 5 through 8. It sounds like a tiny window, doesn't it? But it's into this expansive universe he creates.
It really is. 4 pages can feel like 40 sometimes with Joyce.
Oh, absolutely. So our mission today, it's an exciting one. We want to try and unravel the intricate layers of language, the allusions that just swirl around the mythical fall and the, elaborate wake of its central shape-shifting figure, HCE.
Humphrey Chimpden Earwicker. Or maybe Tim Finnegan here.
Or Finnegan, right.
Yeah.
He shifts. And we'll trace his mysterious reemergence, not like a ghost, but as this embedded presence within the very landscape of Dublin itself.
Becoming the city.
Right. Now, this might sound like a monumental task for just 4 pages, but trust me, Joyce packs an entire universe into every single line.
He really does. No wasted words.
Think of this as maybe your shortcut to understanding a text often deemed impenetrable. We hope to transform it into a fascinating narrative of history, myth, and, well, the human condition.
It's all in there.
So get ready for a journey into a dream that's, as old as time and as fresh as this morning's earliest thought. Let's really dive deep into what Joyce is actually doing here.
And what's truly fascinating, I think, right from these opening pages is how they immediately set the stage for the entire book. They introduce us to core characters, core themes, but not through like a normal story structure.
No, not all.
It's more like an explosion of linguistic play, deep historical resonance. Joyce isn't just telling a story in the way we usually think of it.
Right.
He's actually reenacting these universal patterns of history and human experience through the language itself, the very fabric of it.
That reenacting idea is key, isn't it?
Absolutely. He draws heavily from thinkers like Giambattista Vico, you mentioned him, with his cyclical theories of human civilization. And he embeds these huge philosophical ideas into, well, almost every sentence.
Yeah, it's dense.
It is, without question, a challenging text. No denying that. But it's so rewarding precisely because Joyce is crafting this new understanding of our shared human experience.
Right.
Within just these few pages, you'll find echoes spanning millennia. I mean, from the biblical fall of Adam and Eve right through to stories of Mohammed, ancient Irish folklore, the myths of ancient Egypt. It's all crammed in.
It's astonishing, the scope.
It really is. It's a microcosm of the entire sprawling work, inviting, multiple interpretations and demanding this deep cyclical understanding right from the get-go. 1, the mysterious fall of Tim Finnegan, a Tragody Thunders day.
Absolutely, and it all kicks off with this pivotal, almost elemental event. The mysterious fall of Tim Finnegan, which the text itself dramatically calls a Tragody Thunders day.
That phrase itself.
Exactly. The very first lines on page 5, they just throw us right into the deep end, don't they? Posing the question, what then, agent-like, brought about that Tragody Thunders day, this municipal sin business?
Such a loaded question.
It is. And what strikes me immediately is how the wordplay itself, right from those first few words, starts to hint at the story's deeper layers, its, universal significance.
Yeah, the language is doing so much work there.
So when Joyce writes Tragody Thunders Day, he's performing this, masterclass in linguistic sleight of hand, isn't he?
Definitely.
He's blending the Greek word tragodia, meaning tragedy, which interestingly comes from tragos, meaning he-goat, maybe linked to Thor later.
Oh, interesting connection.
With the Old English Thursday, which was literally Thor's Day or Thunder's Day.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't just clever wordplay, is it? It creates this immediate, ancient, almost primal connection to myth and history.
And to Vico, right.
Exactly. For those familiar with Vico's theory, this is a clear nod. Jove's thunderbolts were believed to have terrified the early giants, driving them into caves and ultimately prompting them to form communities. Civilization, basically.
So Finnegan's Fall is like the start of civilization in Dublin.
In a way, yeah. Right from the start, it's not just some clumsy tumble down a ladder. It's being elevated to this foundational civilizational event, a moment that shapes history.
Wow.
And that phrase, municipal sin business, brilliant fusion, I think, of the deeply personal with the civic. It hints at original sin, Adam and Eve's transgression.
But right here in Dublin?
But localized, urbanized, brought right into the bustling heart of Dublin. Our central figure, Tim Finnegan, is initially based on that popular Irish-American ballad, the Ladder Fallen Mason.
Building his tower.
Building a towering structure of undressed masonry. And throughout the book, his name gets famously replaced by HCE, Humphrey Chimpden Earwicker, or just referred to by a million other names and titles.
Emphasizing that he's everyone, sort of.
Exactly, that everyman archetypal quality.
And to really grasp the significance of this fall, we have to recognize that Joyce intentionally presents it not as, a singular, clear-cut event with a simple cause. That's not what he's doing.
No, it feels much more complicated.
It's deliberately complicated. It's presented with multiple, often contradictory causes and layers of potential guilt. It's a deliberate obfuscation. Yeah. It mirrors how we often perceive complex events in real life, doesn't it?
It really does. The news cycle today, for instance.
Exactly. Joyce explicitly tells us there extant by now 1,001 stories, all told, of the same. That's lines 5.2829.
The Arabian Nights reference.
A direct and powerful allusion to the Book of the Thousand Nights and a Night. It immediately signals that the truth here is elusive, it's multifaceted, it's continually retold, constantly shifting.
So it's not about finding the truth.
Precisely. It's about understanding the richness and complexity that arises from countless perspectives. The story is the 1,001 versions.
Okay, so what were these 1,001 stories suggesting? What are the potential causes floated for Finnegan's fall?
Well, they're incredibly varied, and each offers, a glimpse into a potential truth, a facet of the whole thing. Some interpretations point to a literal structural failure.
Like the building itself?
Yeah, perhaps a misfired brick, line 5.26, meaning a brick poorly made in a kiln, maybe causing the whole structure to crumble, or it could refer to a collapsus of his back promises on 5.27.
Which could be scaffolding, or...
It could be faulty scaffolding, or more metaphorically, maybe a failure to keep his word, broken promises. But that phrase, misfired brick itself, is wonderfully ambiguous, isn't it?
How so?
Well, it could also imply an external attack, maybe a brick thrown by someone, or even thrown by a girl, which hints at some wrongdoing on HCE's part, maybe a scandal that we'll hear more about later.
Oh, okay, so it's not just structural.
Not necessarily. Other readings, like Danis Rose, suggests internal distractions or maybe overindulgence. He posits that Finnegan was maybe driven to half distraction by all the shouting and bawling in the street below.
The chaos of the city.
Right, or even suffocated by the toxic emissions from the city's chimneys. Just overwhelmed by Dublin.
That feels very modern, actually.
It does. Then there's the strong element of pride and alcohol, echoing the popular Finnegans Wake ballad where, his head felt heavy, which made him shake. Line 6.08.
Suggesting he was drunk.
Implying alcoholic overindulgence, yeah. Especially poignant if this Thursday morning was maybe St. Patrick's Day, a day famously associated with having a few drinks.
A Thursday morning, I like that.
Joyce's wordplay again. Finnegan was described as proud as a peacock of his sky-topping tower, and as the old saying goes,
pride comes before a fall.
Exactly. Ultimately, many interpretations tie the fall to HCE's underlying wrongdoing, implying a deeper moral failing, making him a felon, as the critic John Gordon notes.
So it's this mix of accident, maybe sin, maybe pride.
All swirling together. What's truly insightful for us here, I think, is how Joyce presents this. In a world drowning in information, how often do we encounter a single event explained by not one, but 1,001 stories?
All the time. Every major event.
Right. Each with a kernel of truth, maybe, yet no single definitive answer. This raises an important question for you, listening. What does this tell us about how we construct narratives in our own lives, about how truth can be so elusive, yet maybe richer for its complexity?
Joyce isn't just decoding a story. He's showing us how stories are made, unmade, and remade constantly.
That's it, exactly. The Wake of Finnegan, a Dublin Extravaganza.
That's such a brilliant point about the myriad narratives, because it really makes you question how we piece together our understanding of, well, any significant event, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
But, okay, so he's fallen. Finnegan isn't left to lie there alone. We immediately transition from his mysterious collapse to the immediate aftermath. The wake itself, a raucous, vibrant, utterly Dublin extravaganza.
The classic Irish wake.
Exactly. The original ballad tells us quite simply, so they carried him home his corpse to wake. Nice and straightforward.
But Joyce.
Joyce takes that and runs with it. Oh boy, does he run with it. What a scene he paints for us on those pages. We're told of all the hooligans of the nation, prostrated in their consternation and their duodismally profusive plethora of ululation. That's 6.1517.
Wow. Say that 3 times fast.
Right, let's break that down a bit because it's so rich. The hooligans here aren't just, ruffians. The term itself actually connects to a spirited Irish family from Southwark in South London, a name that became synonymous with rowdiness.
Ah, okay. Bit of etymology there.
And that beautiful, sprawling phrase, duodismally profusive plethora. It implies the 12 regular customers of the pub.
The apostles, almost. Or just the regulars.
Could be both. Creating this copious, overwhelming wailing and lamentation. Ululation is, of course, that formal evocative term for wailing, and it perfectly captures the traditional Irish wake element of keening, that heartfelt lamentation for the dead.
A very specific cultural practice.
Absolutely, and the atmosphere is just sensory overload, a cacophony of people and sounds, almost like a full senses of Dublin come alive. We hear of plums and groons and sheriffs and citherers and raiders and sinmen, too. 6.1718.
Everyone's there.
It's everyone, everywhere, all at once. A bustling, chaotic symphony of life right in the face of death. And crucially, there's drink.
Of course there's drink. It's a wake.
The round of the McGrog, 6.19 signals that strong drink, specifically grog, is being passed around generously. Perfectly consistent with the lively, often boozy, celebratory nature of an Irish wake where grief and revelry just intertwine.
It's a celebration of life, too, in a way.
Exactly. And Finnegan himself, the stiff at the center of it all. He's described with this really provocative ambiguity. He's stiff, but he's steady. 6.22.
Okay, what's going on there?
Well, it's multi-layered. It could mean he's literally dead, stiff as a board, certainly, or maybe just gloriously drunk, passed out steady. But it also, subtly, kind of daringly, hints at an erection, drawing parallels to ancient depictions of Osiris found in texts like Mores Roi et Dieu d'Egypte.
Wow, okay. Osiris, fertility gods.
Yeah, connecting Finnegan to fertility gods and the promise of rebirth even in death. It's a truly powerful and multifaceted image that really challenges our expectations of what a corpse is or can represent.
That multi-layered image of Finnegan's body is so central, isn't it, to Joyce's broader themes? This symbolic laying out of Finnegan, especially with Joyce's masterful distortions of the ballad, it's crucial to understanding the cyclical nature of the book.
So how does he distort the ballad?
Well, the original song vividly describes him being rolled him up in a nice clean sheet and laid him out upon the bed with a gallon of whiskey at his feet and a barrel of porter at his head. Very specific, almost domestic imagery.
Right, I remember that.
Joyce takes that and transforms it into something far more ancient, symbolic, even cosmological in his own text. Get this. They laid him broad on a lang last bed, with a bocalypse of Finnegans for his feet, and a barrow load of Genesis howard his head. That's 6.2627.
Bocalypse of Finnegans. Genesis. Okay, unpack that.
Let's spend a moment on that incredible wordplay because it's like a microcosm of Joyce's genius. Bocalypse of Finnegans cleverly combines Apocalypse, the final revelatory book of the New Testament, signaling endings,
The end times.
with whiskey, which in Irish is fianus, meaning clear water, a term also linked maybe to the mythical phoenix in Phoenix Park, symbolizing rebirth.
So end and rebirth in one word.
Exactly. Then a barrel load of Genesis merges barrel with Guinness, that iconic Irish stout,
Naturally.
and Genesis, the very first book of the Old Testament representing beginning.
Beginnings and endings.
Right. By placing Revelation and Genesis, the alpha and the omega of the Bible, essentially at opposite ends of the corpse, Joyce isn't just being clever, he's making a profound statement. That Finnegans' death and wake encompass the entirety of creation and its ultimate end, a complete cycle of existence. His body, therefore, becomes this symbol for all of human history and its potential for renewal.
Wow, okay, that's huge.
And this leads to an anticipated, almost sacred meal. Finnegans' body is seen to transform almost magically into, well, into food. A joint on a dish, finfo from the fish. 7.0910. He becomes this colossal mythical fish.
A fish, like the Christian symbol.
That's certainly part of it, but the phrase, finfo from the fish, is so playful yet primal. It evokes fee-faw-fum from the giant in Jack and the Beanstalk,
Oh, right.
signaling this deep, perhaps even cannibalistic anticipation of consumption. But yes, the fish is also an ancient and powerful symbol of Christ, reinforcing the religious undertones.
So it's both primitive and sacred.
Precisely. His bacon head then miraculously becomes Kennedy's bread, 7.11,
Yeah.
referencing a famous Dublin bakery grounding the myth in local reality.
Kennedy's, I think I've heard of that bakery.
And his fishy tail is transformed into a glass of Danu O'Donnell's famous Old Dublin Ale, 7.1 or 112, a reference to O'Connell's Dublin Ale.
Red nail.
Unmistakable echoes of Christ's body and blood, the Eucharist, turning this boisterous Irish wake into a distorted yet deeply symbolic sacred communion.
A communion meal of Finnegan himself.
Exactly. The mourners, initially described as just a crowd, or maybe 12 citizens, they coalesce into a quartet of historians seated about a table, disciple-like, ready for a last grand supper of the bold Finn himself, as Dennis Rose observes.
4 historians. It's like the 4 Gospels.
Gah!
Or the 4 provinces of Ireland.
Or the 4 masters, the annals writers. Joyce loves his 4s. They are about to quaff off his fraud stuff and sink teeth through that pith of a flower-white body, 7.13 of 14, basically to drink his ale blood and consume his bread flesh.
But there's always a but with Joyce.
There usually is. Just as this ritual meal is about to commence, there's a sudden, almost magical vanishing act. He is no Wimhofen and Finish, only a photograph of a Western scene, 7.15.
He's gone. Just like that.
Poof! Vanished into a faded photograph. A smolten, melted salmon, woe-be canned and packed away, 7.1718, canned salmon.
So what does this all mean for us, the listeners? This ritual meal, the transformation, the sudden disappearance? What's Joyce getting at?
What speaks volumes about the cyclical nature of death and rebirth, doesn't it? How our heroes, our histories, are both consumed and reborn, often into legend, into a fading memory, or, as we'll explore next, into the very landscape itself.
Nothing truly dies, it just changes form.
Exactly. Waiting to be rediscovered, reinterpreted, reconsumed. 3. Finnegan becomes Dublin's landscape. The dormant giant.
That's such a profound shift, isn't it? From the physical body, the potential meal, to the idea, the memory, the very land itself.
It's a huge conceptual leap.
Because Finnegan isn't truly gone. He hasn't simply vanished into thin air. Instead, he's re-embodied. His colossal form becomes the very topography of Dublin. As Dennis Rose so perfectly puts it, he is not dead, just dormant. He snores in sleep.
A sleeping giant beneath the city.
It's a truly fantastic and imaginative idea, isn't it? Transforming the city into a slumbering giant. His Bronto-Ichthian form outlined as slumbered 7.2 is exceed 21. That's a brilliant description.
Bronto-Ichthian.
Thunderfish. Yeah, a thunderfish giant, blending the massive ancient Brontosaurus, a thunder lizard, with the Ichthyosaurus, a fish lizard, maybe even subtly symbolizing Christ again, with the fish motif.
Always layers upon layers.
It implies this colossal, ancient, almost divine figure, a sleeping deity beneath the city, connecting Dublin's present right back to its deep, mythical past.
And he literally covers the city.
Quite literally spans Dublin, yeah, encompassing its most iconic geographical features. Joyce describes him stretching across the entire Dublin Bay Area, from Shopolis to Bailiwick, or from Ashton to Baranoth, or from By the Banks to Round the Head, or from the foot of the bill to Irreglen's Eye. He calmly extends the lead. That's 6.3335.
Okay, let's trace that on the map.
Right, let's unroll that map for you, because it's a truly immersive vision. Shopolis is Chapelizod, that village on the Liffey's western edge near Phoenix Park.
Okay, got it.
From there, he extends all the way east to Bailiwick, which is the Bailey Lighthouse on Howth Head, that big peninsula.
Right out on the coast.
Then from Ashton to Baranoth, that's Ashtown, also near Phoenix Park, across the barony of Howth. And from Five Banks to Round the Head is from the banks of the Liffey River up to the distinctive shape of Howth Head.
Covering the whole Bay Area.
Pretty much. Finally, from the foot of the bill to Irreglen's Eye takes us from the base of a prominent hill, maybe Kilkenny Hill, over to Ireland's Eye, that small dramatic island just off Howth Head.
So Finnegan literally is Dublin Bay, sleeping.
He becomes the geographical features. It's an image that makes the city this living, breathing, sleeping entity. And it's not a silent slumber either. The landscape itself is personified, active in his dream.
How so?
Listen to this. All the way a horn, from fjord to fell his Baywin's Obabu shall wail him rockbound, and all the Livelong night, the Deldale Dolpling night, the night of Blurry Bells, her flute and tricky trochies wake him. That's 6.36 to 7.03.
Beautiful language, the winds are oboes.
Yeah. The winds sweeping across the bay become mournful oboes wailing a lament. And the Liffey River, personified as ALP and Olivia Pluribel, she plays a soothing flute. The very telltale night itself gently stirs him awake.
Like nature is trying to wake him up.
Exactly, hinting at the constant subtle rhythms of history and nature conspiring to bring him back. It's extraordinary imagery.
That image of the dormant giant inscribed onto the very land is incredibly powerful. And expanding on that, Joyce then focuses on specific landmarks that embody parts of Finnegan. And he suggests this ongoing vigilance, a kind of latent energy surrounding this sleeping figure.
Like specific body parts mapping onto landmarks.
Precisely. His gorse-covered head sticks up stonily. There it is, Howth Head, as Dennis Rose vividly describes. You can practically see it. An unmistakable landmark, literally the head of Dublin.
Okay, so Howth is his head. What about his feet?
His clay feet, sworded in verdigris, stick up stark where he last fell on him, by the mund of the magazine wall. That's 7.3031.
Feet of clay, meaning vulnerability.
Exactly, the common idiom for a hero's weakness. Yet they are sworded in verdigris and verdigris, suggesting ancient, enduring structures, maybe covered in green moss or copper carbonate.
Enduring but flawed.
Perhaps. And maybe with a hint of fading sight, like Lacoma, as John Gordon observes. The magazine wall explicitly refers to the magazine fort in Phoenix Park.
A real place.
A significant historical site where his feet metaphorically lie, connecting his fall to a place of military and civic importance right where he fell on them, or perhaps acted like a felon.
Wow, and the landscape around there.
It becomes more than just geography. It transforms into this profound symbol, both a museum of history and a perpetually active battlefield. It's referred to as Wallenstone National Museum, 8.01.
Wallenstone, like Wellington.
A complex blend, yes, of the Wellington Monument, that towering obelisk in Phoenix Park dedicated to the Duke of Wellington, but also allusions to various Waterloo and Wallenstein museums. It indicates a site saturated with historical memory, the echoes of past conflicts.
So the park is a museum and a battlefield.
In a way, yes. This area also invokes La Belle Alliance, a key strategic point on the Waterloo battlefield, and Hill 60, a notorious World War I battlefield near Ypres.
Hill 60. Intense fighting there. Mining.
Exactly. Intense, often subterranean fighting occurred, with the hill itself being repeatedly mined and blown up. These allusions collectively suggest that the Dublin landscape isn't just a passive backdrop. It's a constant living archive of past conflicts, mythical and historical.
Still active, in a sense.
You could say that.
Yeah.
The phrase "bagsides of the fort, bomb Terabon, lick the ambushes," 7.3435, suggests a hidden menace, a lying in wait, hinting at ongoing dangers or unresolved conflicts that ripple through time.
Sounds ominous.
Even the Proud's Eye view, a bird's eye view from above, connects to the Croke Park massacre of 1920, Bloody Sunday, where an airplane signaled an attack on civilians, intertwining modern historical trauma with ancient myth.
Good grief, that's dark.
It is. Visitors or penetrators are permitted into the museum mound free, 8.05. Referring to tourists, sure, but also evoking the Welsh and the Paddy Pactenses, 8.0506.
Who are they?
Possibly a poignant reference to Wellington's army, which historically included Welsh and Irish units. Paddy Pactenses might even hint at a parish priest, suggesting free entry, maybe for spiritual solace.
Okay.
And there's a particularly poignant and layered image of redismembers, invalids of old guard find pussy pram to sate the sort of their butt, 8.06 or 7.
That sounds complex. Redismembers.
It powerfully describes dismembered war veterans, perhaps from Waterloo, like Napoleon's old guard who were famously housed at Les Invalides in Paris, needing rickshaws or wheelchairs. Pussy pram. The word redismembers itself is a powerful fusion of remembers and dismembers.
Remembering and falling apart.
Speaking to the fragmented and often painful way history is recalled and the human cost of conflict. Finally, access to this historical landscape is granted by the janitrix, the Mistress Caith, 8.08.
The gatekeeper.
The female doorkeeper, yeah. Perhaps hinting at ALP and Olivia Pluribel as a genitrix, a mother figure controlling access to life and memory. Or maybe just a pragmatic figure like Nora Barnacle, Joyce's own wife, who once worked as a convent portress.
Always multiple possibilities.
Always. If we connect this to the bigger picture, what Joyce is profoundly telling us, I think, is that history isn't just confined to books or abstract dates. It's physically inscribed in the land.
In the names, the monument.
In the very names of places, in monuments and scars, waiting to be discovered, remembered, or, in Finnegan's case, to wake again. It's a living, breathing archive of the past, constantly inviting us, you the listener, to reconsider your relationship with history and place.
The heart of the dreaming city.
And what an archive it is, this intricate layering of history, myth, geography. It brings us beautifully to the heart of this dreaming city, a place absolutely central to the entire wake. Chapel is it?
The village itself.
Joyce really anchors his grand universal themes in these incredibly specific, almost microscopic details of this small village on the Liffey. Sepal Isot 7.2829 is Chapelizod, right there on the Liffey, nestled near Phoenix Park. And it's where much of Finnegans Wake is actually set.
And the name itself is significant.
Fascinatingly, yeah. Its name derives from Isolt, or Isod, who supposedly had a bower or a chapel there, hence Isod's chapel. So it immediately imbues the place with this ancient, romantic, tragic resonance, connecting it to legendary figures like Pristin and Isolt.
Right from the name.
Right from the name. And Joyce had a particularly deep personal connection to this place, which explains his meticulous attention to detail. His own father actually worked in a distillery there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and was a regular at the Mullingar House pub, apparently known for his bowling prowess on its green. Joyce himself even had interviews conducted and pictures drawn of the area by his aunt, apparently, to ensure his details were absolutely spot on.
Like a forensic investigator of local history?
Exactly. It wasn't just research, it was like this act of personal archaeology. The 1910 Tom's Directory, for example, gives a vivid snapshot of Chapelizod back then. It had a Church of Ireland church with an ivied tower, a convent of Mount Sackville, a Roman Catholic church, a dispensary, a national school, even a metropolitan police station.
All the elements of village life.
All of them. So what we see here is that Joyce doesn't just mention these places. He painstakingly weaves these real-world, highly specific details into his dream text in the most unexpected, intricate ways, blurring the lines between the mundane and the mythological, making the ordinary extraordinary.
It's a testament to his belief that the universal can be found right there, in the utterly local.
Absolutely.
Indeed, the depth of Joyce's local knowledge is just astounding, and he leverages these hyper-specific references for such rich symbolic resonance within the wake. He makes the local global.
How does he do that with, say, the pubs?
We'll take the Mullingar House, for instance. It's not just a pub in the book, it's a central inn, a main setting for many of the book's events. And given that Chapelizod historically had, 6 taverns for just over 1,200 people.
That's a lot of pubs.
It certainly confirms John Gordon's observation that Finnegans Wake is indeed a boozy book. The landlady there, Mrs. Keys, might even contribute to that. The Keys to motif found elsewhere in the wake, hinting at access, secrets, maybe control.
Another layer.
And the distillery.
The Phoenix Park Distillery, which in Dubliners was described as disused, is confirmed by Tom's 1910 directory to still be operating back then. A crucial detail echoed right here in the wake itself with the line, "Tam Fannigan's weak yacht is still's going strang."
Still's going strang, huh? Nice pun.
Playfully affirming its ongoing production, still making the weak stuff strongly.
And what about people? Does he use real names? Oh, yes. These local details extend to specific figures from Chapelizod's past. Local names pop up, like Mrs. Teresa Finnegan of Bridge House. A direct, tangible link to the ballad's character, grounding the mythical Finnegan in a real Mrs. Finnegan.
Okay, that's specific.
We also find Tim Healy, a significant political figure, Parnell's betrayer, whom Joyce saw as a Judas figure. Healy lived in Chapelizod, and his residence is ironically dubbed Heliopolis in the text.
Heliopolis, like Constantinople or something.
Exactly, connecting local gossip and political animosity to ancient cities and epic betrayals. Even Mrs. C. Hands might connect to Nancy Hands of the Hole in the Wall pub, a local celebrity mentioned in an 1859 song, weaving folklore and local lore right into the narrative fabric.
So pubs, distilleries, politicians, local celebrities.
And the churches, too. The ivied tower of the Anglican St. Lawrence's Church is noted, as are the Catholic Church, the police stations, all meticulously noted. Grounding the fantastical narrative in solid historical fact, yet allowing them to take on symbolic weight within the dream.
It's like a dream built on a very real foundation.
Precisely. And this meticulous detail extends profoundly to the linguistic play, where local speech and literary allusions just collide. Consider the phrase Isavon Esavons on line 7.04.
Isavon Esavons? What's that?
It's a brilliant bilingual pun. It hints at a Gaelic phrase for Vanessa is his wife, alluding to Jonathan Swift's complex and famously ambiguous relationships with Esther Van Omri, Vanessa, and Esther Johnson, Stella.
Swift, who lived near Dublin.
Exactly. Swift was rumored to have secretly married Stella, but definitely not Vanessa. So it adds this layer of hidden intimacy, public perception, a touch of scandal, all resonating with the Wake's themes of hidden truths and ambiguous identities.
Wow, okay.
Immediately following that, we have Pater Jack Martin's 7.04. A direct and loaded reference to Peter, Jack, and Martin, the three brothers from Swift's biting satirical work. A Tale of a Tub.
Oh, I know that one, representing the churches, right?
Representing Catholicism, Protestantism, and Anglicanism, respectively. Their squabbles are central to Swift's religious political commentary. By including this, Joyce is making a clear commentary on Dublin's historical factions, those enduring sectarian divisions, showing how even a personal local dispute or a literary satire can carry centuries of wider conflict.
So the local contains the historical and political.
Always. And finally, the phrase, all them ins and ouses, 7.0405, just the brilliant linguistic touch.
How so? Sounds like dialect.
It reflects a lower-class speaker's pronunciation, certainly, combining ins and outs, implying the hidden nicks and crannies of the village with a dropped H from houses, giving it phonetic realism. But it also subtly references the Ouse River in England.
The Ouse, why?
Suggesting how even the most local speech can carry broader geographical and linguistic allusions, extending the reach of Chaplism beyond its immediate boundaries. Everything connects.
So this raises an important question for us then. By anchoring his universal themes, truth, sin, death, rebirth, in such hyper-specific, almost microscopic detail of Chaplism, what is Joyce really saying about the relationship between the local and the global, between the mundane and the mythological?
That's the core question, isn't it? How much of our own grand narratives are woven into the very fabric of the places we inhabit, the specific streets, the local pubs waiting to be deciphered? He's demonstrating, I think, that the deepest human experiences are often found not in grand pronouncements, but in the minute textures of everyday life and language.
Outro. What an incredible journey we've just taken, just through pages 5 to 8 of Finnegans Wake. Feels like we've covered centuries.
It really does. That's the effect it has.
We started with the Tragody Thunders Day, that multifaceted fall of Tim Finnegan, an event steeped in myth, history, civic sin, offering 1,001 explanations, much like life itself.
No easy answers.
Then we plunged into that boisterous, almost sacrilegious wake, a real Dublin Extravaganza with its symbolic feast. Finnegan's body transforming into bread and ale, only to vanish into a photograph, a faded photo, before he could be consumed.
The vanishing act.
And then we witnessed that profound transformation, Finnegan becoming the very landscape of Dublin. A dormant giant whose gorse-covered head is Howth Head, his feet resting by the magazine wall, a land inscribed with the memories of battles, monuments, continuously echoing with the past.
The city as a body, as a memory bank.
Finally, we zoomed right into the microcosm of Chaplism, a village that, for Joyce, became this universe of local detail and layered allusion, showing us how the most ordinary places can contain the most extraordinary stories.
The local holding the universal.
So what does this all mean for you, for us, as we navigate our own complex world? You've seen how Joyce takes these simple narrative elements of fall, awake, and just explodes them into this mosaic of history, myth, human experience.
Yeah, it's like an explosion.
Showing us that even a misfired brick can be the start of 1,001 stories, each contributing to a deeper, maybe more profound truth. It's a powerful lesson, I think, in how to approach information, how to approach narratives, recognizing that there's rarely a single, simple answer.
And yet if we connect this to the bigger picture, Joyce is Finnegan, lying dormant in the landscape. It truly reminds us that the past is never truly past, is it?
No, it always feels present in the wake.
It's not just history repeating, as maybe Vico might suggest, but history redreaming itself through language, through our collective unconscious, echoing and re-echoing across time.
Redreaming. I like that.
What appears dead might just be sleeping, waiting for the next cycle to wake again. This text fundamentally challenges us, I think, to consider how deeply intertwined our own personal narratives are with the places we inhabit.
Our homes, our streets.
The homes, the streets, the cities that hold our daily lives. How many 1,001 stories might be waiting to be told about our own municipal sin business or our own Thunders days if we only knew how to listen?
Listening to the whispers of the past in the present.
Exactly. Listening to the whispers embedded in our present. Perhaps the next time you walk through your city, you'll see the slumbering giants beneath the streets, and maybe hear the Deldale Dalpling night whispering tales older than time.
Waiting for you to unearth them.
Waiting for you to unearth them and maybe add your own story to the unending cycle.